Hey guys, are you ready to do your seed journals? Okay, now this is the last day that we're going to be doing this. We're going to be working on the last page. Now, before we start anything or even look at our journals, the first thing that we need to do as scientists is something called observation. And all that means is looking like a scientist at what it is that we're studying. So we're going to take a closer look at our plant right now. Okay, now when we are making an observation, boys and girls, we are not only looking, but we're also saying either out loud or in our own minds all the different things that we see. So, first off, when I'm looking at this right here, I can see that my leaves are bigger. You know, it's interesting, there's this little growth that's coming out of the top right there. I see my stem. One thing that I notice is my stem is green, my leaves are green. Oh wow, look at that. There is that broken stem right there, and so far those leaves still seem to be doing okay. Down here we can see our roots. One thing I've noticed is seems like every time I look at it, I see more and more roots. What color are those roots? Are they green? No, it looks like they're kind of white. You can even look at the bottom. Really want to just try and take a look at everything that I see. Now, one other thing I noticed, you guys might have seen this also, there are these little shriveled up things down here. They don't quite look like leaves. They fell off the plant somewhere around the middle of the stem. Kind of wonder what those things are. As I'm going through and making all my observations, I'm also asking myself questions. That's what a good scientist does. Now, once I've made my observations, I am ready to start thinking about what I want to write. Okay, now that I've made my observation, I want you guys to pause the video and I want you to get your plants out if you have them, and I want you to look at your plants. What are the things that you see on yours? Does yours look like mine? Are the leaves and stems the same color? How many roots do you see? So go ahead, pause the video, take a close look at yours, and then we'll move on. Okay guys, hopefully you've made some good observations with your plant and you've already thought of some things that you would like to write. Let's get started. I'm going to get started by just reading this sentence at the top because there's something we need to fill in right here. So I'd like you to read with me at home. Here's what my seed looked like on day, and I'm just going to tell you, it is day 16, boys and girls. So write a 16 in right there. Now, I was trying to think of some different things I wanted to say than before and include some details that I have observed. And one thing, you know, I haven't even mentioned is, and you can read this along with me, is I have, and you know, I am going to be using as many sight words as I can. Again, when we're writing, we want to use what we already know. So if you guys know your sight words, use those. I have 3, and rather than spell out 3, I'm just going to write the number. I have 3 plants. And since I have more than one, I need to add an S. And what goes at the end? You got it, a period. Okay, so first sentence, pretty simple. I have 3 plants. Next, boys and girls, I am going to write about, you know, one thing I noticed on here is just the color, and I haven't mentioned the color at all, so that's a good thing. Some of you guys might have observed, and I know we already did that together. So I am going to say my, and that is another sight word of ours, my, M-Y. Stems. Now, I'm going to use some vocabulary words or some words of use that I had on the board. Stems and again, feel free to sound these out loud as you're spelling them, boys and girls. That kind of helps you out. My stems and leaves. Now there's two ways to make that E sound. You know that we've been talking in class that the E as in seed and the EA make it. For leaves, it's actually the EA. So leaves are, and what color are they? Yep, that's right. They are green. And again, that E sound. This time it's with two E's. Are green. Excellent. Okay, that is our third one. Or excuse me, our second sentence. Now we're going to do our third sentence. And you know, I definitely wanted to see how tall my plant is right now. If you remember, in the last journal entry I had, when I measured it, they were 10 inches. And I said, I think they look a little bit taller. So what I'm going to do, hopefully you guys are going to be able to see this. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to put it in carefully. I don't want to hurt my plant. I'm going to put it at the where the 1 is on the ruler, the bottom part, on top of the soil, and I'm going to measure to the top of the plant. And I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to try and adjust that up just a little bit. If you can see that. It's right about to the top of that, and if you can see it, it's right up to that 12. It is about 12 inches. You know what? It's close enough, so I'm going to say, guess what? My plants are 12 inches. So let me put that down here, scoot that off to the side, and just like I did before, I think I wrote my plants are 10 inches. I am now going to write my, again, another of our sight words, and since there's more than one, I add an S. My plants are, you know what, I am running out of space, so I'm just going to make another line. Boys and girls, you can write as much as you want. If you do, make another line. My plants are 12, 12 is a 1 and a 2, 12 inch. Do you remember what two letters make the ch sound? If you remember, it's the CH as in cheese. You got it. Inch. Inches. And then I'm going to borrow one more word from our words of use. Tall. All right. Okay, real quick. I have 3 plants. My stems and leaves are green. My plants are 12 inches tall. Whenever you do writing, boys and girls, it's always a great idea to reread what you wrote to see if you made any mistakes. I know I make mistakes all the time, and when I do, if I can catch them, that's great. Then I can fix them. Okay, after you do your writing, boys and girls, I'd like you to draw a picture of your plant. I'd like you to color it in. Now, again, if you are if writing's difficult for you, you can do some copying. You can pause the video. Try and make it your own, though. If you're a little bit better at writing, boys and girls, just look at the vocabulary words up here, and you can just kind of use those as a guide. If you feel you are a pretty advanced writer, try and do it without any help at all. Just sound it out. Remember, in kindergarten, your spelling does not have to be perfect. If you're sounding it out, that is really a good sign of an advanced writer. Okay, guys, have fun with that. I'm going to color mine in, and I will show you what the final product looks like. Okay, guys, I went ahead and finished my picture and my coloring. And, you know, while I was actually coloring, I made another interesting observation. While I was looking at the shape of those leaves, one thing I noticed is that they were in the shape of a heart. They're kind of heart-shaped, and I hadn't noticed that before. So in any case, when you are doing your writing, again, if you are a really advanced writer, again, try to do this without looking at anything. Sounding those words out yourself, remembering those sight words of yours. If you do need to do some copying, either from this video, the words that are up here, that's fine, boys and girls. But again, you're always trying to do as much as you can on your own. One thing I did want to share with you, I did get a video from one of you who shared with me what they wrote in the last Seed Journal, and I thought I would share that with you. Sophie in our class sent this in. Hopefully you guys can see it okay. I'll try and bring it a little closer. Sophie wrote about day 13, and this is what she said. I can see my plant is 11 inches tall. I see more roots that are very long. The leaves are bigger. Awesome job, Sophie. I can tell you put a lot of thought in that. Looked like you had actually written that out without any help, so great job on that. In any case, boys and girls, this doesn't have to stop on this page right here. One other thing that I'd like you to do, as you know, we have our front cover of our Seed Journal, which we haven't, I haven't told you guys to do anything with. What I would like you to do is just finish this by drawing a picture. It could be a picture from the very beginning when we were planting it. It could be what it looks like right now. Include yourself in it. Or something moving forward, what you think it will look like. As you know, this plant is going to keep on growing. One thing I want to tell you about plants, as you know, and we know already, we talked about seeds needing soil. Now, one thing about plants is bigger plants need more soil. And as these plants get bigger, they probably will need more soil. As you can see, the roots are getting pretty crowded in there. They're looking for food for the plant. If you wanted to replant this, if you want it to get bigger, if you want to plant it in a bigger container, or maybe even plant it in the garden outside if you have soil, that might be a cool thing for you guys to do. And keep watching it grow, keep giving it what it needs, and see how well it does. See if you guys can get some garden beans out of it. Moving forward also, if you'd like to share with me anything that you wrote, if you'd like to share with me what your plant looks like, I'd love to see those pictures. So if you can, send them in. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much, and let's move on to the next activity.